You weren't awake. Hopefully you are now. All right. So welcome. We are so excited to host this year's Roosevelt Gifted and Talented Programs Guardians and Families, a virtual event. And we are going to also, because we know it is time with families, record this event so you can also watch it at a later time. But for those that are with us right now, welcome. And we are so excited to have you. So we are going to get started. We have Miss Henry is helping right now with getting everybody into the chat and into our meeting today. So why don't you go ahead, if you haven't already, put in the name of your student or students and the school that they attend within Roosevelt. We will go ahead and give everybody about 10 seconds to do that if you haven't done so already. And then we will go ahead and get started with our schedule today.
Bienvenidos a este programa de los talentosos y por favor en el chat escriban su nombre y la escuela a la que asiste en Roosevelt, una cosa que espera obtener de esta sesión hoy.
All right, wonderful. Not starting that again. We're just going on. Okay, so today our event is from 5 to 6 today. We are here, a lot of us may be here for the raffle for families that are joining us today. But an overview of the event, we will be going over the bulk of our content is myths, characteristics, and needs, and that will be led by me, the gifted coordinator here at Roosevelt School District. My name is Jessica Zimmerman.
Vamos a comenzar con la descripción general del evento de ahora y eso va a ser la señora Zimmerman la que va a presentar eso.
And then after that, we will be supported by Sarah Young, our gifted teacher and coordinator, with supporting us with supporting gifted students at home and this summer.
Y luego después de eso vamos a seguir con la señora Sara. Y ella nos va a hacer cómo soportar a los niños talentosos en la casa y durante el verano.
And then I'm really excited to have Stephanie Newitt. She is the president of the Arizona Association of Gifted and Talented and also transitioning into a parent advocacy role. And she is joining us today.
Would she like to present herself?
I mean, if you just want, she's going to come on later. She's just a fancy face right now.
Luego sigue la Miss Stephanie Nui, ella es la que es abogada para los niños talentosos del estado.
And then we have our summer enrichment opportunities with Charlotte with ID Tech.
Y luego tenemos otra persona, Charlotte, que dará la oportunidad de enriquecer sentimiento en este verano.
At the end of the program, we will have Jake with leadership and success coaching with Lead AZ support us with some coaching opportunities for students.
Okay. Y luego va a seguir Jake con coaching de liderazgo y éxito.
And then we will go ahead and close up at 6 o'clock, as well as conduct our raffle for the winner for that ID Tech camp that Charlotte will get into a little bit later as well.
Okay, lo vamos a cerrar al final y luego vamos a hacer la rifa a las 6.
Perfect. So I wanted to just kind of give you a heads up. Today we'll be communicating via chat, some emojis, and then also we'll need your phones out for some QR codes. So if you do have your phone handy, it's perfect. We'll be using the QR code function. You can open your camera on your phone to scan, because we do have some survey questions. And then if you do not have a phone or a different device, you can use your computer browser and type in today. So just a few of the tools we'll be using to kind of keep this interactive. And if you're new to Zoom, your emoji bar at the bottom, if you click on reactions, you'll see different emojis, and that's what we'll be using today.
Okay. So vamos a comunicarte sobre el chat. Si tiene un celular, vamos a usar QR codes. Y si necesita reacciones, aquí están las reacciones abajo de su, para que se pueda ver los manitas así.
Awesome, and thanks for that model, Nora. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started. the first opening question, I want you to think about your child at home, or if we have anyone joining us that has maybe a gifted child of their own, or maybe you're thinking about a student on your campus. You'll scan this QR code on your screen here, and it'll take you to our first question. And I'm going to kind of pop over there and I'll come back to the QR code. But the question is, which picture best represents your child? Porque foto representa su hijo. And I want you to think about them in relation to their learning, maybe just how they are at home, how they are at school. So think about which picture best represents your child. And then we will look at the answers here. I'll pop back over to the QR code. So if you're just joining us, take your phone out, get your camera open, scan that QR code, and then answer the question there. I'll go ahead and give you 30 seconds to do that.
Okay. So utilicen su teléfono, responda a la pregunta, ¿qué foto representa a su hijo? ¿Sería en casa o en la escuela? Esos estudios.
Okay, perfect. All right, so we see from the results so far, we have some students steady, consistent, maybe they take direction. We have some students that are fast, self-paced, maybe they take little direction, they're just Cheetos, you let them go. And then not surprising, we see a lot of people saying that their students are a little bit of a hybrid and that they are run by their own motives. And I think a lot of parents of gifted children would definitely agree with some of these, just the big differences, but also similarities between gifted students.
I didn't see. Okay, tenemos hoy. This is so tiny, Jessica, I can't even read. So 100% son como una tortuga, ¿verdad?
We have no tortugas. No.
No tortugas, no tortugas, cero. 17% de, ¿cómo se llama, Sherry? Que son, ay, Dios mío.
It takes direction.
Say it again.
Takes direction.
Toman direcciones muy fácil, y luego con una Chirac, ellos pueden hacer todo solos, con nada de dirección de la maestra, y los hybrid pueden hacer los dos. Se motivan ellos mismos, que es 50%.
Thank you, Nora. We didn't know we were going to challenge your glasses here today.
My glasses.
So this is just this grounds us in our work today. We know a lot of our students, they march to the beat of their own drum. Sometimes it's hard to kind of get them to slow down. And so you are within a community that understands that as well.
Como estos niños, ellos les gusta hacer, su trabajo son como, esto en sus pensamientos, ellos hacen los que ellos piensan.
So we're going to start off with gifted myths for the beginning of this portion of the presentation.
Okay, vamos a comenzar con los mitos de estos niños.
So this might be something you guys have come across, but what the National Association of Gifted Children did was they compiled a list of the most common myths in gifted education. So we're going to go over some of those myths right now.
So vamos a presentar algunos mitos desde nuestro país, educar adecuadamente a millones de los estudiantes, y vamos a ver la lista que nos presentan.
So the first one is, gifted students don't need help. They'll do fine on their own.
So, los primeros estudiantes dotados no necesitan ayuda, lo harán bien por sí mismo.
And this one I like to think about, you have your star athletes, right? You have your quarterback who's going to take you to the Super Bowl. You have your your Olympians. You don't send them to the Super Bowl or to the Olympics without a coach.
So como nosotros nos vamos a enviar una atleta estrella a entrenar para los Juegos Olímpicos sin un entrenador, esos estudiantes dotados también necesitan guía de un maestro que está adecuado a de aprendizaje de estos niños.
And so I like to think about the same way for our gifted students. Yes, they can produce and do a lot of these amazing things, but it does not mean that they can do it all on their own. And something to also remember, sometimes these students start maybe ahead of some of the grade level content. So they're already kind of starting ahead of time. So there's going to need to be some adjustment in their instruction to meet them where they are.
Okay. So muchos estudiantes superdotados pueden estar tan por delante de sus compañeros tan de la misma edad y conocen más de la mitad del plan estudiar de nivel del grado antes de comenzar el año escolar. Okay.
And we realize that when students aren't challenged, sometimes they then become bored, apathetic, and that's something we don't want for our gifted students. So this myth that they'll be fine on their own is absolutely just that, a myth.
Cuando decimos que ellos pueden hacer ellos mismos, ellos se aburren, en veces se frustran, que resulta pueden consumir bajos logros, desanimados o hábitos de trabajo poco saludables. Go.
Thank you. All right. The next myth is teachers challenge all students. So gifted students, they'll be fine in the classroom.
So los maestros desafían a todos los estudiantes, así que los estudiantes talentosos estarán bien en la aula.
And one of the things to remember that it's not sometimes not to the teacher's fault. A lot of teachers and upwards of 58% of teachers are not trained in supporting gifted students.
Okay, so aunque los maestros tratan de desafiar a todos los estudiantes con frecuenciamente, no están familiarizados con las necesidades de los niños dotados y el 50% de maestras no están entrenadas para estar con los niños dotados.
And one of the startling statistics is when teachers were surveyed what they were doing for students in order to support them and challenge them, 78% of teachers said that they did feel that they weren't able to adequately challenge their students in the classroom.
So el 73% de los docentes estaban de acuerdo que con más frecuencia los estudiantes más brillantes se aburren y tienen pocos desafíos en la escuela.
Thank you. All right. The next myth is that gifted students make other students in the classroom smarter by challenging them.
So los estudiantes superdotados hacen que otros estudiantes en la aula sean más inteligentes desafiándolos.
And this summarizes it best by actually a quote from one of my students. She was a fourth grader when she said this. She said, "Hey, I love helping my peers. I love helping my friends in the classroom, but what about me? What about what I want to learn? What about my talents? How come I can't focus on that in the classroom?"
Una de las niñas que tuvo, ella dice, porque me gusta ayudarme a mis compañeros, pero ¿por qué? ¿A quién me va a enseñar a mí? ¿Por qué yo no a mí misma?
And this is going to come back to what Stephanie is going to talk about later with the Bill of Rights, but this comes back to students deserve to learn something new every single day, and that includes our gifted students.
Okay, so dice ella, los niños de los superdotados o cualquier estudiante deben tener la oportunidad de aprender cada día para tener éxito.
All right, the next one is, my student can't be gifted because they have bad grades in reading or math or in any other subject.
Sí, en la otra es que no, mi niño no es dotado porque no es muy bueno para leer o para las matemáticas.
And something that's super important to understand is a student might be extremely talented in one area and not in another. And that is totally okay. That is something that we called asynchronous development.
Hay unos niños que pueden estar talentosos en una área, pero no en la otra. Y a veces, say it again, Mr. Seca.
Asynchronous development.
Oh, how do you say asynchronous? Bueno,
Uneven.
uneven. So no tiene uno mejor y el otro no. So,
Yeah. All right. Next one is gifted students are happy, well-adjusted, and popular in school.
so los estudiantes dotados son felices, bien ajustados y populares en la escuela.
And I'm going to tell you firsthand, I've had gifted students that have said, I feel the pressure of being perfect, and my friends think I'm a nerd and they call me a nerd, or they really struggle with some really mature concepts happening around the world. Maybe they're really tuned into the Russia war, or they're really really impacted by the effects of COVID. And so maturity wise, they are there and they experience all of these feelings, but they really struggle emotionally.
Muchos estudiantes dotados prosperan en su entorno comunitario escolar. Sin embargo, algunos niños superdotados difieren en cuanto a su intensidad emocional y moral, sensibilidad y expectativas en sentimiento, perfeccionismo, profundo, preocupación por los problemas sociales. Otros no comparten intereses con sus compañeros de clase, lo que resulta en aislamiento, o se les etiqueta la favorabilidad como nerd. Okay.
All right. The next one is, my child cannot be gifted because he or she has a disability.
Mi hijo no puede ser dotado porque tiene una discapacidad.
And something about this is we call students that are gifted and also have a disability twice exceptional. And with that label, sometimes their disability masks their giftedness and vice versa.
So, algunos estudiantes superdotados también tienen aprendizaje y otros discapacidades. Estos estudiantes dos veces excepcionales.
Right. And then our last myth, our district has a gifted and talented program, but another program offers acceleration that is equally beneficial as a replacement for my student.
El distrito tiene un programa dotado y talentoso. There's something in my way. y ofrecen aceleración y es igualmente un plazo para mi estudiante.
And something to remember for this, while AP classes can offer that support with accelerating or moving students further with the content, what a gifted and talented program, a truly well-crafted one surrounding the needs of gifted students does, is focuses on the whole child, including the social emotional needs of gifted students.
Si bien las clases de AP ofrecen cursos rigurosos y avanzados, no son un programa de educación para superdotados. El programa AP está diseñado como clases de nivel universitario impartidas por maestros de secundaria para estudiantes dispuestos a trabajar duro.
Thank you, Nora. All right, so we're going to go into the next section. This is where we really want you to be using those emojis. So we're going to go now into some of the traits of gifted students. And so I want you to think about a student that you have at home. Maybe the student has grown up a little bit and is no longer in grade school. And I'm going to give a trait out there. And then I want you to respond with emojis. If yes, you notice this, no, you don't, or you can even be a little fun with your emojis. But we're going to go ahead and get started with the cognitive traits of gifted students. We notice that they notice everything. So they have a keen power of observation.
So, vamos a comenzar con usando emojis. So, vamos a ver los jóvenes con una confianza conscientemente intelectual superior se distinguen por la rapidez con la parte pensante y sus cerebros de esperación. So, vamos a hacer lo primero. Vamos a ver cómo se están. Sorry, let me see. I switched the thing. Que ellos ven todo en el mundo, ven todo, notan todo.
Okay. And then the next one is they tinker. Maybe they mess with things. They're taking things apart. They're putting it back together.
So, también les gusta jugar con cositas, los componen, los descomponen, a ver, y los ponen otra vez para ver cómo funcionan.
I see some of the kids that are on there, they're smiling because they know they do that. All right, the next one is maybe they love reading and they started reading when they were really young.
O les encanta leer y desde que están muy jóvenes aprendieron a leer.
Next one. They might sound like a mini adult. You talk to them and they understand. Maybe they like to talk to adults. They're usually the kid on the playground where they are not going out and playing with their peers. They're standing right by the teacher talking to them.
So, estos niños también son como un adulto chiquito, pero les gusta, en vez de jugar con sus amigos, les gusta platicar con las maestras para hablar en ese vocabulario muy inteligente.
All right, and I know parents, you probably understand this one. They ask why a lot, or they have a lot of questions.
Y también preguntan muchas personas, muchas preguntas, like, ¿por qué? Pues eso es lo que hacen muchas.
I see some laughing kids. They're like, yep, that's me. Okay, next one is they are very aware of when something's wrong. They might even point you out on your mistakes.
Sí, también les gusta ver qué es lo que está pasando malo, ¿verdad? Y te pueden decir, ok, esto hiciste un error. So, eso sí hacen, lo correjan el error.
We have some really honest kids here today. I really appreciate that. All right. The next one is some of the additional cognitive traits. Our gifted kids, they are interested in what they are interested in. And when they're interested in something, they want to know everything about it. So if they're learning about sharks, they want to know everything about sharks. If they want to learn about dinosaurs, everything about dinosaurs. They become little experts.
So, si ellos tienen algo que les gusta y siguen aprendiendo y más y más, quiero saber más de lo que me interesa.
All right. And then another one is if they are interested in it, they're pretty independent. They're pretty good at doing it on their own.
So, cuando ellos les gusta mucho algo, van a trabajar independientemente para buscar las respuestas.
And then just as we talked about, they're interested in becoming an expert in something. They also are kind of known as the jack of all trades, which means they want to learn everything there is to know. They might know a lot of information about a lot of different things.
So, diversidad de interesar y habilidades pueden ser conocidos como el aprendizaje de todos los oficios, aún es que sean mayores.
All right. The next one, I'm sorry to call you out on this, kids, because some of us can have some intense emotions. So I see some head nods. So yes, some intense emotions, a lot of those.
Entonces, pueden tener emociones intensas.
Another thing is they might be very sensitive what's happening in the world. So they might know what's going on with things and it hurts their heart. They're like, you know what, that's not okay with me. They're very sensitive.
So, tienen sensibilidad al mundo, lo que está pasando, se sienten mal de lo que está pasando en el mundo.
They can have high expectations of others and also themselves. Sometimes they are perfectionists, and they might have something called the perfection infection. If they feel like they might fail on something, they might not want to try it just because they don't want to make a mistake.
Tienen altas expectativas de uno mismo y de los demás. Y en veces, porque algo está difícil, no lo quieren hacer para no salir mal.
They're very self-aware.
Self-aware, let me see. Self-aware.
It's okay. And then they might be easily wounded. They might get their feelings hurt pretty easily.
So, en vez se pueden sentir mal de algo si alguien les hace algo mal.
They are something called the judge, juror, and executioner. They will tell you and be the first one to tell you if something's not fair.
Si algo no está bien o eso no creen eso, les van a decir, no tienen miedo de decirles, no, eso está mal.
All right, and then another one is they are very mature for their age.
Están muy maduros para su edad.
All right. Now we're going into the social characteristics. So the last of the characteristics for today. The first one is spontaneous. They might do something and it won't really be planned. They let their passions drive them.
So tienen espontaneidad. So si quieren hacer algo, lo van a hacer.
It kind of goes along with this. They're very enthusiastic. They probably have a lot of energy. They're probably keeping you quite busy.
So tienen mucha entusiasta. Son muy, say it again, Jessica.
They're keeping you very busy.
Los van a tener muy, ¿cómo se llama? On your toes.
Yeah. It kind of comes back down to this too. They have that insatiable curiosity, which means that they want to know all the information.
So ellos
they want to know why.
Tienen mucha curiosidad y ellos quieren todo lo más posible de lo que les gusta.
Another one we call is impulsive. So sometimes they act without thinking first.
Y en veces tienen impulsivos y hacen algo sin pensar.
And another one is they get frustrated when they don't get it.
So en veces se frustran porque no entienden algo.
And then another one, this might be some of your kiddos. They might be very, very talkative.
Y a veces hablan mucho.
All right. So the next one is some of the voices of gifted students. I'm not going to read all of these off, but parents, I was able to talk to some students at different schools, and they were able to share with us some of their needs.
Y eso es lo que voces de otros niños en otras escuelas.
So one of those needs, a student says, I need different ways of teaching. I'm a visual learner. I need those supports to be successful.
Así que necesitan diferentes modales de aprendizaje.
Another student said, in a regular class, we just focus on one thing as a whole class. But in my gifted class, we focus on what we need. I need change, focusing on different things that we need to be better on for ourselves. It makes me focus better.
So en la clase regular dice se enfocan en una cosa nomás, pero en su clase de dotados se enfocan en diferentes cosas y pero mejor entender. Yes.
Some students said, I don't need my teachers to expect amazing things from me all the time. We're just like normal kids who are talented in some things.
Así que los niños dicen que no, que espero que mi maestra o maestro quiera que yo salga perfecto todo el tiempo. No le hace.
And this was hard to hear from one of the gifted students. They said, I feel like we're not looked at or cared for. We're kind of put it to the side in terms of being serviced for gifted.
Y dice que los niños también dicen que no, la gente no los mira, no los pone a un lado y no les dan servicios para los dotados.
One other student said, I want to be seen for more than just my intelligence. I think people see me just as the smart kid, not as the actual person.
Uh-huh. So dice que niños quieren ver, que los vea la gente no como una persona inteligente, pero que los vean nomás porque ellos también una persona normal.
The next one, I asked them to tell me about what would they tell their parents or their family members at home, what they need as a student at their home.
So dice que quieren que les diga a los padres cómo les pueden ayudar los padres en la casa.
So a lot of students, they were older junior high kids. They said some alone time.
O les gustaría estar solos un poco.
Another student said, sometimes my grades aren't perfect. It doesn't mean I wasn't trying. It's because I didn't understand something.
Dice, a veces mis calificaciones no van a estar perfectas, pero yo hice lo mejor que yo puedo.
One other student said, treat me with my maturity and my age. Remember, I am old enough to understand some things, but remember, I am still a kid.
So, dice, que los entienda así por muy madurez, pero en veces piensen, yo sí pienso como un poco adulto, pero todavía soy niño.
And then another student said, my parents acknowledge me and they advocate for me.
Y dice que algunos de los niños dijeron, sí, mis padres me ayudan a salir adelante.
All right, and then these are some of the needs they asked for themselves or from their peers.
Esta es una de las cosas que ellos quieren para su mismo y para sus compañeros.
So one student said, there will always be someone smarter than you, but that doesn't mean that you give up.
Siempre habrá una más inteligente que tú, pero eso no te da la razón para rendirte.
Another student said, I just need motivation, but sometimes I don't know where to find it.
En veces necesito motivación, pero no sé dónde encontrarla.
And then this was some advice to their friends. I might be loud or different. I understand where you're coming from, sometimes even if I don't seem like it.
A los amigos, en veces voy a estar muy de voz, siempre de voz alta, pero yo sí los entiendo.
Okay, awesome. So this is the last code for this section. I want you to think about families and members. You can answer any one of these questions. You can answer, what is something you learned today that is a gifted trait or characteristic that you thought, oh, wow, I didn't know, but that is also my child. I can relate to that. Or what is a need of your student you maybe heard? Or what is one of the myths of gifted that was cleared up for you today?
Este es el último escáner de código que para la última pregunta. Tienen 4 a 3 preguntas, nomás contesten una, que es algo acerca de su hijo que aprendió hoy, que es un rasgo o característica dotada, cuál es una necesidad de su estudiante, cuál es una de los mitos de los superdotados.
Okay, so I'll give you 30 seconds to do that. If you are using your phone for the device and you cannot scan, you can also go to this www.menti.com and then type in this code here that is shown here on the bottom of this page on this slide.
Okay, so si no pueden scan en su teléfono, usen el www.menti.com y use el código 3361-9782.
All right. So I will give us about 30 seconds to do that, and then we will transition onto our next speaker.
30 segundos.
Okay. So thank you so much for listening. Hopefully you were able to get some information about some of those gifted characteristics and see those kids in mind and some of the myths and clear up some of those misconceptions. We are going to move over to Sarah Young, who will be supporting us with supporting gifted students at home and this summer.
Okay, dice la señora Jessica, gracias por su atención y vamos a seguir con la siguiente parte de la presentación con la señora Sarah Young. A cómo soportar nuestros niños dotados en la casa y en este verano.
So I'm going to start by sharing the link in the chat that will give you this summer enrichment sheet. It's 4 pages long so that it can be utilized 4 weeks out of the summer. And so I'm going to share that first so that you can be exploring that if you want as I speak.
So voy a poner el link en el chat. Toma eso y este es el calendario que les va a dar, es 4 páginas.
So what I wanted to do is have kind of a theme for each day. So on Monday, we have mindfulness or meditative practices. This includes a website that has options for everywhere from kindergarten through 8th grade with leveled videos and work that they can do based on their age, and also virtual calming activities. Think things like coloring activities that can help with calmness, yoga, all of those sorts of things.
So, dice cada día va a tener tema y va a tener diferentes actividades, depende de la edad del niño, por ejemplo, colorear, pues un poco de yoga, otras actividades.
Then on Tuesday, it's about building. Again, students are often curious and want to tinker with items. They want to build things. They want to create and to improve items. And so this will have different opportunities for them to build things with recyclables or other really simple items you have around your home.
El martes va a ser para que ellos construyan algo con cosas que tienen en la casa.
Then Wednesday is all about wondering. And so it will be learning about a new topic using a website called Wonderopolis, and then creating or inventing something based on that wondering and that research that the student has done.
So el miércoles van a hacer, se llama Maravilla, y en eso van a aprender a los niños algo que les encanta, que les gusta. Van a hacer van a hacer research y luego hacer crear algo sobre lo que aprendieron.
Then Thursday is all about thinking and using critical thinking in order to solve different types of puzzles, sometimes visually, sometimes logic puzzles. So this is really great for students who just love that puzzle or that challenge.
Y el jueves van a hacer de pensamiento, van a hacer unos rompecabezas sobre lo que les gusta.
Physical Friday is just what it sounds like. It's getting students up and moving, a lot of pent up energy over the summer, sometimes out of our routine, and just getting some good exercising can really help students to kind of stay on track and feel good in those summer months.
So, el viernes va a ser de física para que hagan los niños, por ejemplo, dice yoga, que bailen, que brinquen, lo que quieran hacer.
And last, Seek Saturday, it's actually based on an app called Seek, where if you can use this app on a phone that has a camera, you can look at any plant or animal, and it uses picture technology to analyze the picture in order to figure out what that plant or animal is and give you tons of information about its location and all those sorts of things. So getting outside, finding something new.
So el sábado va a ser algo de buscar cosas. Hay una app que se llama Seek. Pueden usar los niños para ir afuera, tomar fotos de plantas, de lo que quieran y para que les dé información sobre eso. Esos.
And you can feel free to make this your own. If you just want to pull one of the days, if you want to mix up the weeks, or if you want to use it in a way that works for you and your child, that's absolutely fine. Another way of doing it is to put in your own pieces. Maybe you have swimming lessons and you want that to be your, physical part, or maybe you go to the library. So in the chat, if you would type in something else that you might be thinking about doing this summer. Maybe it's your child loves playing with Legos, or maybe they might be, incorporated in activities that you do every day, like baking or cooking. So what are other ways you could engage your child in the summer months? And you can either put that in the Menti or you can put it in the chat.
Dice la señora Sara que si ustedes tienen ideas que algo más que hacer, si no quieren hacerlas en orden, ustedes pueden hacer en cualquier manera que puedan, si puede poner en el chat o aquí en el Menti qué otras cosas pueden hacer.
Yeah, I see read with them. That is so huge. I have 2 children. I read with them every single night and it's some of the most wonderful time just to cuddle up, read, discuss a book.
So, yeah, algo dijo que leer con ellos y eso es muy bueno, por supuesto.
Wonderful. And I see going to the zoo, going to the Arizona Mills Mall, reading again. I'm loving all the answers. And I'm going to go ahead and pause there just because I want to respect the next person's time. Oh, and I see play board games, cook together, travel, live concerts, take pictures of their summer activities. So that could even go into scrapbooking or just, being able to share those memories. That's awesome. Thanks, guys.
Okay, I'll just jump right in. Does that sound good? Okay. My name is Stephanie Newitt, and I've just finished my term as president of the Arizona Association for Gifted and Talented.
Are you going to translate for yourself, Stephanie? You're so good.
I'll let you translate, Nora.
Oh,
Are you ready for a break, though? Do you want me to translate for a little bit?
Yeah, yes.
Okay, I'll translate for a little bit. Okay. Me llamo Stephanie Newitt. Acabo de terminar 2 años como presidenta de la Asociación de Arizona para los Dotados y Talentosos. Y es un placer estar aquí con ustedes. It's a pleasure to be here with all of you. I wanted to let you know that the Arizona law specifically talks about gifted students and gifted education. La ley de Arizona específicamente menciona y refiere a la educación para los dotados y de los estudiantes dotados. How am I doing, Nora? Am I doing okay?
You're doing great.
Okay.
I think you're doing awesome.
It's been a while. One part of the Arizona law says that the governing board of each school district is to prepare a plan. Wait, go back.
It's right there. There it is.
It's to prepare a plan called the scope and sequence for how they will educate gifted children. Entonces, la ley de Arizona dice que la junta directiva de cada distrito escolar deberá preparar un plan para la manera que van a educar los niños, los estudiantes dotados. And so that is the law. The districts have to provide those gifted services. Es la ley aquí en Arizona. Los distritos tienen que dar estos servicios a los dotados. And part of that says that the services need to be a part of every day because your child is gifted every day, not just Tuesdays at 10 o'clock. La ley dice que los niños están dotados cada día, entonces deben recibir sus servicios cada día, no solamente martes a las 10, porque su niño no es dotado solamente martes a las 10. Ok, próximo, next one.
Mucha.
Okay, thanks, Nora. The National Association for Gifted Children has even prepared a Bill of Rights. La Asociación Nacional para los Niños Superdotados ha preparado una Carta de Derechos de los Niños Superdotados y Talentosos. And you will see this here on the screen. Está aquí en los monitores. And you have the right to know about your giftedness. Tú tienes el derecho a saber sobre superdotación. You have the right to learn something new every day. Tienes el derecho de aprender algo nuevo cada día. And that one is really important to me. Es muy importante en mí que los niños dotados tienen la oportunidad de aprender algo nuevo cada día. You have the right to be passionate about your talent area without apologies. If you're into sharks, get into sharks. Tú tienes el derecho de ser apasionado en tu área de talento sin tener que disculparte por ello. Si tienes interés en los tiburones, estudia los tiburones. You have the right to have identity beyond your talent area. El derecho de tener una identidad más allá de tu área de talento. I'm going to jump down a little bit. I won't read all of this. Voy a brincar alguno, no voy a leer todo. Another thing that's important to me is that you have the right to make mistakes. Tú tienes el derecho de cometer errores. Because from mistakes we learn. De los errores aprendemos. Y tienes el derecho, sorry, I meant to say in English. And you have the right to not to be gifted in everything. Y tienes el derecho de no ser talentoso en todo. Because life is a journey. Es un viaje esta vida. Okay, the próximo, next one. So here in Roosevelt School District, your district has a plan. Aquí en este distrito, el distrito de Roosevelt, ustedes tienen un plan para servir a los dotados. You have a scope and sequence, a plan to serve the gifted students. And from your website, del sitio de red, dice, gifted services at Roosevelt School District are committed to the belief that all learners have the right to educational experiences and opportunities that encourage and allow them to develop their potential. Aquí en el distrito dice que tiene la creencia que todos los estudiantes tienen el derecho a experiencias y oportunidades educativas que los animen y les permiten desarrollar su potencial. And that these learners have a need for positive social interaction with their peers in a responsive academic environment. Que los estudiantes tienen la necesidad de una interacción social positiva con sus compañeros en un entorno académico receptivo. And so this is what your district believes. This is what they want to do. Next one. Eso es que su distrito cree que quieren hacer. But sometimes it doesn't always happen. A veces no sucede. Aunque tiene un plan, no sucede. And the plan sometimes doesn't happen because there's so much for district leaders to do that they forget about certain priorities. A veces los líderes del distrito se olvidan de ciertas prioridades. And so it's good when there's a group of parents who get together to discuss what are our priorities. We need to remind the district. Es bien cuando los padres se juntan en un grupo para expresar las necesidades de los dotados, a los líderes del distrito, para ayudarles a recordar, porque los líderes olvidan. And when they form a group, the benefits of these parents, when they can connect together, is that they receive support from one another. Es cuando los padres, cuando se juntan, pueden encontrar apoyo entre uno a otro. And these groups are made up of like-minded parents sharing similar experiences. Estos están formados por padres de ideas afines que comparten experiencias similares. And these parent groups also can help share accurate school, district, and state advocacy news. Los grupos se pueden compartir noticias precisas de defensa escolar, distrital, y estatal. Because sometimes the services, unfortunately, are not the same at every school. And so when parents come together, they can talk about what needs are being met and what needs still need to be met. Porque a veces los programas no son iguales a cada escuela. Entonces, cuando los padres se juntan, pueden charlar de qué necesidades sí. Okay, Nora, help me out. Las necesidades que,
What did you say in English?
how the needs are being met.
Como los, lo que necesitan están,
Okay, déjeme pensar otra manera de decirlo.
Bueno, ¿cómo le pueden ayudar a los niños? ¿Cómo están ayudando a los niños?
Sí, sí, porque algunas necesidades sí pueden ayudar y están ayudando, pero otras necesidades no las ayudan. And when parents come together, it builds community and trust and respect amongst everybody, amongst parents, amongst district leaders, amongst school districts, amongst school leaders. It builds trust. Entonces, cuando se juntan, construye comunidad y confianza y respeto entre todas las partes interesados. Los líderes, los padres, los líderes de la escuela, los líderes del distrito, construyen la confianza y respeto. Is that my last one? No. So I am inviting you as parents to come together and see what you can do to help your district live their own plan at each one of their schools. Entonces, mi invitación a ustedes como padres es juntarse y charlen de que cómo pueden ayudar al distrito, ayudar a los dotados a cada escuela, porque cada escuela a veces los programas son diferentes. So my name again is Stephanie Newitt. Me llamo Stephanie Newitt. Soy con AAGT, and es que yo ayudo grupos de padres formar y organizar para desarrollar respeto y confianza con su distrito. So that's what I do. I help parent groups form to build trust with their district. So Jessica, did you want me to have drop a little question or something in the chat? Anybody who's interested in being part of this kind of a parent group, if you'll drop your name into the chat, that way we can connect with you.
That's perfect, Stephanie. Thank you so much.
All right, you're welcome. It's been so fun to be here.
Thank you so much. We're so happy to have you. Second year in a row. We'll just keep going. All right, we're passing it over to Charlotte. Go ahead, Charlotte.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for your time tonight. I am ready for speed round. Nora, I hope you are too.
Oh,
My name is Charlotte. I am with ID Tech, where we provide online and in-person technology education for students.
so es la señora Henry está aquí es parte del ID Tech y ella quiere ayudar a los niños en persona o en online.
Like many of your children, I too was in a gifted and talented program as a child. And it was educators just like Jessica who helped my first generation immigrant parents identify that I could benefit from additional resources and that I myself did have needs different than my peers. And today I want to share with you the programs of ID Tech.
So, la señora Charlotte dice que ella también era dotada en su escuela y tenía una maestra como la señora Zimmerman que le ayudaban a mejorarse. Y ella quiere enseñarnos uno de los programas que tiene el ID Tech.
We have over 23 years of experience teaching STEM skills to students. If you think about the smartphones that you have, the website and applications that you use, and this, as well as the meeting that you're on right now, there are people behind these apps, behind these phones, and these are skills that your students can be learning today.
Okay. So, algunas de las cosas que tenemos como los celulares, eso es lo que enseñan en este ID Tech. So por eso desde los niños es que lo que tenemos estos cursos.
We teach STEM programming, so science, technology, engineering, and math. And we teach them in a few different ways. We do one-on-one online tutoring, online camps, and in-person camps.
Okay. So en STEM es ciencias, tecnología, ingeniería y matemáticas, y lo enseñan en tutor uno en línea, 1-a-1 o online con campamentos en línea y campamentos en persona.
For tonight, I'm very honored to be able to offer one scholarship for our on-campus program at Arizona State University. I was part of many groups that allowed for students just like me to do enrichment programs on a college campus. And it was often the first time I had ever set foot on a college campus. And I understood that this was a place for higher learning that I could go to after I graduated from high school.
So esta noche ella tiene la oportunidad de darle una beca a una persona para que vayan a este programa que le ayudó a ella mucho.
Next slide, please. The courses we teach are in things like coding, game development, robotics, as well as math, as well as business. And we offer flexible year-round scheduling. They are during the summer. We have guaranteed small class sizes, which I know for many of our gifted students, they can benefit from. There are scholarships available. Not a lot of these programs, it's my job where I work with ID Tech to make these programs affordable for more students and more accessible. So we have scholarships, we have payment plans, and overall, I do urge for you that if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. We have many Spanish speakers who will be happy to answer any questions you may have. My Spanish skills aren't that great. It's been many years since I've practiced, but I have also included my direct email at the bottom of the slide.
Algunos de los programas es programación flexible, opciones para todo el año o verano, tamaños garantizados de clase, pequeños, becas disponibles, planos de pago y habilidades para futuros trabajos, y la información de la señora está acá. Si tiene preguntas, ahí está abajo.
Thank you so much, Charlotte. And we have one more. I know we are running a little over time, but we should just have a few more minutes. Jake's really awesome. He's going to go nice and quick for us. And then we'll do the raffle right after. So we are passing it over to Jake.
Thank you so much, everybody. I'm Jake. It's very quick. This opportunity is for students 12 and older, so 7th and 8th grade. I'll pause for a quick translation.
Oh, este programa es para niños del grado 7 y 8.
Yep. We worked with gifted college students, and we found out that there was a big issue that not a lot of people were addressing.
Él dice que encontraron niños de colegio que estaban dotados y, what did you say the second part?
There's a big issue that they all had.
y que era algo que tenían en común, que era malo.
That issue is stress. Students couldn't manage their stress and their time.
Estaban muy estresados los niños, o los estudiantes, los niños, adultos.
We have a coaching program where students get to be one-on-one with a professional coach to help them manage stress and prepare for their future.
Tienen un coach que les puede ayudar para que se mejoren en el futuro, ayudarle cómo hacer con el estrés y todo eso.
This program usually costs $5,000 a year,
Y a veces cuesta $5,000 al año,
but there's a generous donor in the Valley who is paying it entirely for students with financial needs.
y hay una persona en la ciudad que va a dar una beca sobre eso.
So if any of your children qualify for free or reduced lunch, we have an application there. There's a QR code and a website link. They can go there and submit the application to be considered for this free program.
Si su niño come gratis en la escuela o paga un poco, tiene la oportunidad para hacer una aplicación y ahí está el código, el QR code, si quiere aplicar.
And that's it. Very quick. Thank you for having me.
Dice que gracias, esto es lo que tiene que decir.
Wonderful. So I am so excited because I need you guys to know, parents and families, we have some amazing people in the room today, and it would not be possible without all of them. So some emojis for Sarah Young, our gifted consultant and teacher, who's been tirelessly working with us all year long. Some snaps and emojis for Charlotte, who I've connected with recently, and she's just been kindred spirit. So we're gonna see a lot more of Charlotte with us within the district. Stephanie Newitt, please give her some emojis. She has just been amazing, and I truly look up to her in gifted advocacy. And then thank you to Jake. Give all the emojis for Jake. He's doing this amazing program that I wish I had when I was in school, because just to be able to offer this big need is so amazing. So I want to thank everybody. Thank Nora for the translation, and thank Miss Henry for helping me out on the moderation today. And huge thank you, parents, to you, because you are with them all day long, right? And about to be all summer. And you know, it is very wonderful in all the ways, but we are here to support you as a district, as a program, as everything. So we are here, and I know you're waiting for the raffle, so we're gonna do it. I'm gonna go ahead and spin the wheel of names. So I'm gonna stop my share and then start my share in a moment, and we'll do the raffle. But really quick, parents, I want you to take down all the information you got today. You have a lot of advocates in your kids' corner today. You have Stephanie, who shared her information. You have Charlotte with ID Tech and Jake, and you have my information. This is my phone number. Please contact me if there's anything you need gifted related. We're here to support you. So thank you so much. Nora, do you want to try to translate everything I just did there?
Muchas gracias por venir. Si tiene preguntas o comentarios, ahí está la información de Miss Jessica, a su teléfono y su email. So, gracias por venir y ojalá que encuentren algo beneficioso para sus niños. I added my little ad lib a little bit.
All right. And we have our wheel of names here. So I'm going to go ahead and click spin. Are we ready to see who our winner is for the ID Tech Camp? Are we ready? Let's go ahead and spin. Okay, we have our winner today, Katrina. You're gonna have to drop your information in the chat with me, your email, a way for me to get a hold of you so we can talk about how to get your child set up for the camp this summer. The rest of you, it's okay. We will have way more opportunities. I promise, I promise. And we are not done with this amazing work yet. So I wanted to thank everybody again for coming today. And we're so proud of you kids. You have done an amazing job. This year's been stressful. I know last year too, but we're so proud of you. We love you. And everyone, thank you. If you have any questions, you can drop them in the chat. We'll connect. But if not, everyone have an amazing night. Thank you.